So as we move towards Newton's second law of motion from Newton's first law of motion, we will have to develop a very clear understanding of the concept of linear momentum. And I will introduce to you the concept of linear momentum in this video. Most people have a idea about what momentum is. For example, if I show this picture to a layman and say that both the car and the bike are moving with the same speed, and if you ask a question, which vehicle out of these two has more momentum, I think the person will be able to guess that the car has more momentum, even though the person may not have a quantitative sense of why he's saying that. So we have this innate sense of what momentum is. And if you look at the formula for momentum, momentum is given by P. The symbol that we use for momentum is P. And it is given by mass into velocity. So momentum is mass times velocity. And the velocity that we use over here is the instantaneous velocity. So what does this mean? So let me write that formula again over here. Momentum is mass into instantaneous velocity of an object. So if I'm looking at two objects moving with the same velocity as we saw in the previous case, so let us go back to this picture. So let us say both of them are moving with the same velocity. So the velocity v and velocity v both have same velocity. Now their momentum will be m1v and m2v because their masses are different. Obviously m1 is larger than m2 and therefore m1v will be greater than m2v, and thus the momentum of the car is larger as compared to the bike, provided of course their velocities are same. So that is momentum, the product of mass and velocity. It's a vector quantity, that means it has direction, and the direction will be the direction of velocity. Let's look at the units of momentum. So if I take mass, the unit is kg, and if I take velocity, it is meter per second. So the unit of momentum is kg meter per second. This is the SI unit of momentum. If you look at the CGS units, then instead of kg you will have gram, instead of meter, centimeter, and instead of second we'll keep second. It's not changed because the CGS unit of time is also second. So this is the CGS unit of momentum. But in most of the cases, of course, we will continue to use kg meters per second as the unit of momentum. As far as definition is concerned, there are two definitions of momentum. One is the simple definition that it is the product of mass and velocity of an object, or to be more precise, the product of mass and instantaneous velocity. So I can write over here product of mass and instantaneous velocity of an object. So this is the definition of momentum. Some books define momentum also as amount of motion of an object, and by the word amount they mean the mass, and by motion they mean the velocity. So some books use this definition of momentum. You could use either of them. Let us now try to get an intuition of what momentum is exactly. What does it mean to have a large momentum? What does it mean to have less momentum? Let us take the example of a bullet. Now we know that bullet has a very small mass and very high velocity. Of course, we are talking of a bullet which has been fired from a gun. It has got very small mass, but it has got an extremely high velocity. And since momentum is given by mass into velocity, since the velocity is very, very high, the bullet would have a very large momentum. So even though the mass is small, the momentum is very high because of high velocity. Let's take the example of a truck which is moving slowly. So a truck will have a very large mass, but let us say it's moving with a very small velocity of, let us say, 0.1 meters per second. So it has got very less or a small velocity. Momentum is mass into velocity. The velocity is very, very small, but the mass is very large, and therefore a truck would also have a large momentum. So we can see that object's momentum depends upon both mass and velocity. If one of them is very high, the object, the moment it starts moving, has got very large momentum. Now, what does this signify? What does this mean? Large momentum means a higher potential for impact. You know, these objects can create a very high impact. A bullet can pierce through an object. A bullet can pierce through a human body. That is because it has got very large momentum. Similarly, a truck, even though its velocity is less, since its mass is very high, and if it passes over an object, it will really damage that object because it has high momentum. So high momentum implies a higher potential for impact. And conversely, low momentum will imply a lesser potential for impact. Another way of understanding this is, we will not think in terms of coming in the way of an object which has got high momentum. For example, you will not even think of coming in the way of a bullet because it has got a very high momentum. Similarly, a truck, even though it may be moving very, very slowly, you will not think in terms of standing in front of a truck moving slowly because you know what damage it will create. And that is because the truck has got very high momentum. Whereas if you take the example of an object which has less momentum or low momentum, so let us take the example of, let's say, a bicycle. Let's say we have a bicycle, and let's say it's moving with a velocity of 1 meters per second. Now 1 meters per second is very high as compared to the velocity of the truck that we took earlier, that was 0.1 meters per second, and this is 10 times of that. But if this bicycle is coming, we will be able to stop this bicycle. We'll be able to come in front of the bicycle and stop it because it has got less momentum. And that less momentum is because its mass is not too high, nor is its velocity. So this is what momentum means. Momentum basically refers to a potential for impact because of the combination of mass and velocity that object possesses. Thank you. Okay, let us look at a situation as shown over here. Let's say we have an object of mass m, and at a given instant its velocity is u, and say you apply a force over here. Let's say we apply a force to this object, and in time t its velocity changes to v. Let's say it increases to v. So after time t its velocity is v. So we will call this position 1, we will call this position 1, or we will use the symbol I, and instead of 2, let's use the symbol, the position as final position and initial position. So this is initial and this is final. So if I want to find out its initial momentum, pi, initial momentum, I'll take mass and u. So this will give me the initial momentum of the object, the momentum of the object when it was at this particular position. As far as final momentum is concerned, that means over here it is m into v. And if I want to find out the change in momentum, which I'll denote by the symbol delta p, I will get m into v minus m into u. Final momentum minus initial momentum, that is m into v minus u. So change in momentum is given by m into v minus u. And if I divide the time t on both sides, so let us say this is time t on both sides, then this particular term we call it rate of change in momentum, rate of change in momentum, and that is given by m into v minus u by t. And I'm sure this formula rings a bell. You are able to think that yes, this is some term which we have studied in the past. Yes, you are right. V minus u upon t is acceleration. So rate of change in momentum is acceleration. And this will finally, or later on we will see, this will come out to be equal to force, which we will study in the next video.